How many people actually look like that, waiting for text messages and things like that in their beds these days? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I don't know. I get too tired to be able to text in bed anymore. I think that's what's going on now. Chixtape 5 is the fourth studio album released by Tory Lanez. I've only had a little bit of experience with Tory in being a featured artist, hearing his sound, his style beforehand, and it does remind me a lot of T-Pain's Crunk N.B. It's basically a hybrid type of R&B when you put it into hip-hop music. Maybe kind of during that crunk style era from hip-hop. Anyway, that's kind of the idea, but put in more of a new school way, I suppose. And this is what we have right now. An album that I was genuinely interested to see what would happen. Reason I say that is because he had a very special remixed-ish song with T-Pain called Jerry Sprunger. This is, of course, taken from T-Pain's super early single, I'm Sprung. The song is groovy, a little edgy, but I can't look past a little bit of it, since I kind of already know what I'm getting myself into at this point. So that single alone got me somewhat interested. Then I looked at the album as a whole. I was also very shocked to see who else was involved in this album. Let's talk about it. Not only does he have T-Pain in here, he also has Jagged Edge, Jermaine Dupri, Snoop Dogg, Chris Brown, Ludacris, The Dream, Maya, Mario, Trey Songz, Ashanti, Lil Wayne, Lloyd, Fabulous. Like, is this guy trying to make me think he's going to try to revive 90s and 2000s R&B? Because if that's so, I would gladly welcome that. I miss that kind of production. I miss that kind of vibe. I think we need that. It's not popular. I don't hear a lot of mainstream R&B, and the stuff that I do hear is just not that welcoming to me. And I don't feel like a lot of people are getting it either. I think people are getting over it. I would love to hear something on the radio that has some true love and not just some lust smothered all over it. So with all of those features, how do I feel about it? It's disappointing. This is one of those rare albums where I feel like the idea was great. Not brilliant, but great. However, its execution is incredibly lackluster. And at the same time, this album, sure, has some edgy words in it. But it is a little bit more than that. This album gets borderline graphic, and I can't really tolerate that for very long, if at all. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Music like this doesn't need to stuff itself down the nasty hole very far, if at all. We just need some good love songs. Sure, you can pull it from whichever experience you have if this is more urban, if you want to put it that way. But come on, let's put some actual musicianship, some actual lyricism, some actual emotion. Let's not just put in a bunch of, hey, let's just do this thing because this is how people get down now. Okay. So many of these songs have these really weird intros that are supposed to pay homage to another song that happens to have that featured artist. The thing is, these intros kind of suck. If I'm being blunt, they hinder the production so much that it makes the rest of the album seem like it's going to elevate only by a little bit, if at all. I feel like that's going to be my favorite phrase in this review, if at all. The other thing that I cannot stand in this album, and it's kind of true for others. I don't particularly like intros or preludes or finales, just like these things that seem like skits. Some of them can mesh themselves well or okay into an album. These little moments in this album are titled as skits. They're awful. They are trash. They should not be in this album. They are wasted ideas. It wastes time on the album. It makes me want to hurl because it's included. A lot of those samples that are being used in the production and in the lyrics, they aren't executed well, and it tears me apart to feel like a lot of these awesome artists that I grew up with feel like third-rate artists when they become involved in the song. That rips my brain apart. I can't stand the idea that that's what happened. The one exception was the T-Pain song. But everything else, I was just like, oh, what did you do? It's horrific. Horrific. Now, if I had been in the studio trying to approve these ideas, I think I would have said yes. I think that these could have potentially been great. But for some reason, the direction, the production, the small ideas, how big or small ideas, I don't know really how much time was put into it, they don't come off across as finalized or, in that sense, nostalgically paying homage to all these artists that decided to give Tory Lanez a chance at combining their time and his new school and trying to find this weird fusion put together. I don't know if I'm making sense with this, but by golly, guys, this is not the way to do it. There is a way to create nostalgia. There's a way to create the new old school, if you will. Sorry, man. This is an idea I wish worked. I really do. This would have been a fun album. Sure, the lyricism and the edginess to it, yeah, I have traditional problems with that. But you made everyone else sound like crap, man. What happened? I feel like such a downer. Yeah, this is something I was going to get really excited for, and we just can't now. So, without being gloomy anymore, let's wrap this up. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 58%, creativity 47%, expression and lyrics 28%, this album gets a no. This isn't like many of the other no's that I've given in a long time, where I just kind of acknowledge this is bad. This is something I wanted to be good, and I think could have been good. Probably not a yes, but it could have been at least good, and we couldn't even get that to work. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all of the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.